Welcome everybody to Dragon Quest FM, where we talk about and obsess over Dragon Quest. I'm Austin,
I'm BJ.
and this week is kind of part two of us talking about our favorite DQ merch. Again, this is one that it kind of has a visual element to it, so you may want to watch this over on YouTube or Spotify or wherever you can access the video. But we're still going to be chatting a whole bunch, so even if you're just listening to this in the car or whatever, regular podcast style, you can still hear us chatting about things.
Yeah, we're going
Now,
to be talking about the items and things like that. I mean, it's cool to see them, but you don't have to. So you're just missing out on cool stuff. So, but no, we'll be talking about. So don't worry about that.
now I talked a lot last week, so to jump things off, I know BJ, you've got some things you were wanting to show off.
So one of my favorite things is one that you actually got me. Is this copy of? Oh my goodness, it's disappeared because of my the way I have my camera on. It is the Game Boy version of Dragon Quest Monsters. It's the Japanese version, the original one, and I love it so much. It surprised me so much that you got it. It was the first time I'd ever had a Japanese Game Boy game, and
Oh,
so the box and everything, just being in the nice little cardboard box is oh man, is really really cool. I'm having to hold this because my background behind me is super messy. Um, I'll turn it off, but then everyone will see the
I can see it. You don't have to turn it off, I don't think.
uh,
But yeah, so fun story about that one, real quick, is I have that copy myself because I found and I haven't looked for a while because I think I have pretty much all of them at this point.
yeah,
But I would find specific stores on eBay that would be selling like old copies of those games in Japan.
yeah.
And in Japan, they're like really inexpensive. And sometimes people selling stuff on eBay know that Americans will pay more, and so they like,
Uh-huh.
inflate the cost. But some of these shops that I'd found and like favorited on eBay, sell them for like what would be just, probably a normal price if you were to fly over
Yeah.
there. And um, so yeah, so I bought a copy for me and a copy for you, because they had two in stock of those,
Like I truly
because I
love
really
it.
liked it too.
And like being able to see the cartridge and just the art on it, like it's got the very Japanese style of art on there where it looks like Toriyama. It's not like where it's made up like the to be sensational like a
Hmm.
lot of the US ones are. And so it's gorgeous just to see the art on it. And then I'm a sucker for anything that has like the inserts. And so of course it has the like registration inserts where you can fill out your information and everything on
Yeah.
there, which I won't ever take. But the manual is also in there, and there's an original Game Boy manual, and I love this because it's different than the U.S. ones. The
Hmm.
U.S. ones were all landscape when you got them; they were long, and Game Boy manuals in Japan were apparently not. And so, being able to go through here and just see all of the art on here, as well as just play the game in Japanese, like, and it was Game Boy Color, so I can play it on like the Game Boy Advance and DS and actually see the color. I never had a Game Boy Color, so
Oh, I gotcha.
this is the first actual Game Boy Color game I've ever played. Like, because I only
Oh.
had a
Hmm.
regular Game Boy, and then I went to the Game Boy Advance. Like, I never had the Game Boy Color in between.
Oh,
So any of the
gotcha.
Game Boy Color games, I never actually played the real Game Boy Color version of it.
I actually
So,
thought I actually thought you had one of the like uh the purple like see-through Game Boy colors like I had. I
I
actually thought
had
you
the
had one.
purple see-through Game Boy Advance. I never had the purple
Uh,
see-through Game Boy Color. Yeah,
gotcha.
so it was actually the first and only Game Boy Color game I've ever had. I've had so many systems over the years, but I completely missed the Game Boy Color. And
Hmm.
so having this is really one of those, like, for a lot of reasons, one of my favorite things in my collection. So I was really excited when you gave me this, and it's very hard to play in Japanese not reading it, so I haven't played through this game on there, but I do hop on and play the save games that are on it, and it's really
Yeah.
hilarious not knowing anything that's going on through the Japanese version on the original Game Boy. But I love this thing so much. And then I got the. This is what I asked you about last time for you. was the slime controllers that
Hmm.
they did. I'm just trying to get it to where it'll be like, is it part of me?
There it
But
is.
there it is. Where the slime controllers that they did are these massive pro
Got
controllers
my
that they,
reflection on it.
yep, got you. You can see it. But it's hold it in front of my face, maybe.
Yeah.
So I got a slime for a face. But this one is the giant Nintendo Switch Pro controller that we imported the moment that it got announced that we could do it
Yeah.
because there's not a United States one, there's not a North America one, and so we pre-ordered these. I know on what was it?
This Play Asia, I think.
Play Asia. I was at Pro Asia, and I'm like, that's not it. I've never opened this and used it. I think you have. Like
Oh yeah,
you've actually used this, and I couldn't bring myself to actually open it and use it, and I had to keep it as a collector's
yeah,
thing. But mine's never been out of the box. I've kept it as a display, and so yours, I've never actually used it. So how does it work? Because it turns upside down,
it's
and you
actually
the buttons and stuff
fine.
are on the triggers are on the back of it, and so you use its butt as the controllers as its bottom. Um,
Yeah, I don't actually have, hold on. I don't actually have the controller up here. If I'd known you were
yeah.
showing it off, I would have. But like pretend like this plushie is the controller. You hold
Hmm.
it like this, and so your hands kind of grip this. And I mean it's smaller, but your
Yeah, I
hands
mean,
kind
you
of
can
grip it and
see.
you press the buttons. But I so when I bought it, I mean I went ahead and opened it because I got it because I think it was maybe 11S. There was some Dragon Quest game that came out around the same
Yeah.
time, and I was like, I'm gonna play the entire game like this. And it didn't work out because I play Switch mostly on handheld, but I have used it a lot, and not just for like DQ games. Um, my kids will fight over that controller,
Really?
because they all like to use it. Yeah, and I mean their hands are way tinier than mine. It is surprisingly ergonomic. Like I've used it quite a bit, and it has not hurt my hands at all.
Wow.
It looks bulky, and like whenever I first got it, I was like, "This is weird."
Uh-huh.
Um, but yeah, I keep it. It comes with a little black stand for the little analog sticks to go
Hmm.
fit down into,
Yep.
and I've got it sitting on that. I've actually got the packaging because there's like a little paper craft to make it look like a
Yep.
treasure box and stuff. So I've like kept the packaging because I've never put that part of it together. But yeah, I mean, it's sitting downstairs right now. Um, and yeah, we use
It's
it.
and you never got what actually made me think about this last week after we stopped recording was that you never got the PlayStation 2 version of it. That there was a PS2 version of this that they released that you can still get, but I never picked up, and this was kind of a throwback to it. And I couldn't remember if you had ever gotten the PS2 one. I knew that you had gotten this one because we ordered them together, but I couldn't remember if you had the PS2 one. And so there may be some of you out there who have the PS2 one. And really, the only difference in this one and that one, from what I can tell, I mean, obviously, other than it being a different console, but that one's wired and this one's wireless. But they look really, really similar. And
Y-
so,
Yeah, there's a couple of cool different there's the actual slime controllers
mhm.
and then there's like some metal slime stuff. Um and there's like that just look like normal controllers but
Mhm.
have like slime design. There's like a Vita. Um there's also one of the things I was
Want it
going to show
so much. I want that Vita so much, but it's so expensive.
one of the things I
Uh,
was going to show off
oh,
actually kind of just since this is naturally a place to bring that up was my liquid metal slime
I was
2DS.
hoping. I was really
Um
hoping that you would show that one off
I
because it's
I
my favorite thing. I love it so much.
I didn't even think about it last week because I use this so much that like the whatever like novelty of it has kind of worn
Yep.
off because of how used to it I am. But it's cool. This is like real shiny little metal, hard metal right here. I don't know if it'll pick up, but there's like a cool design
Yeah, you can see
pattern
it a bit.
on the black here, and then there's like a little liquid metal slime right here too. And the pattern kind of it's like the symbol of Erdrick. There's like the crossed swords. It's the Zenithia sword and Sword of Light. And then there's a slime and a Draki. And there's like different the pattern like kind of repeats
Yeah.
um right there. But I did want to show this one today because I realized I didn't show it last week. And it's kind of like a cool thing that maybe people don't get to see every
Yeah.
day. But so I kind of paid just like standard price for it. Didn't pay more than it was worth, but paid like the MSRP price to
Yeah,
get
for a
this.
2DS, like it was crazy. You got a
And
special edition Japanese 2DS for the actual price of a Japanese 2DS, which was really impressive at the time, especially.
yeah, it was like a bundle that came with that, and then DQ11, the 3DS version. And I talked about this in my book, but just for like story time here, because I tried to find stuff that had stories behind it. Was this actually got there? I didn't plan it, but this actually arrived when you were down visiting one time.
Mm-hmm.
You and Jennifer were down here,
I
and
was so excited.
my cousin Jaden lived with us back then too. And I remember getting it, and we were all giddy, and like you and me and Jaden were like huddled around. And it's in Japanese, so we were trying to figure out, how to get the 2DS started up
Yeah, like the
and
UI and
everything.
everything's in Japanese, so we were having like issues
Yeah.
trying to get it get it to work because obviously we
So
didn't know what the buttons were.
and one of us had it pulled up, like had like Google Translate pulled up on their phone, and we were like kind of guessing. And in my book, I kind of compared it to that scene in Apollo 13 where like Ed Harris and everybody is like they're like gathered around trying to figure out how to bring the astronauts home.
Uh
And
huh.
that's what we were doing. And the stakes felt just as high. Like we were all like
Yeah.
very intensely trying to figure this out. And then, got 11 started. I
Hmm.
played it in 3D because we knew at that point that
Hmm.
11S was gonna come out with a 2D option. So I knew this was kind of like a unique way to experience it, and so got that pulled up, and having already known 11 really well and played it and stuff, like it was able to figure out where to go, but also there was times where still trying to figure it out. But
Hmm.
yeah, because it's a because it's a 2DS, I actually have played like all of my DS games will work on here because it's not because DS games aren't region locked. And so like all of like it's like Dragon Quest 9, 6, 5, 4, pretty much all of those I've played on this one
Hmm.
at this point. And then of course it also lets me play like Theatrhythm, Dragon
Oh
Quest,
yeah.
which I played and beat. There's some DQ Monsters and other Dragon Quest Japanese 3DS DQ games that I have that lets me, you know, I can play it on here now.
And
And so,
until the eShop shut down, you were able to get any of the Japanese eShop games because it had a different region on what you could purchase. So you were able to download demos and things like that. I guess you could have bought some. I don't actually know if you ever bought any off of the eShop. I know you downloaded some demos off of the Japanese eShop on the 3DS that we didn't have available here. And I was going to ask about this one because I remember when we first got it. I say we first got it because I was there when you first got it. We were messing with it. I was thinking that some of the chrome
mhm.
had rubbed off. Did it, or am I just making that up? That as you've
No,
used it so much, the chrome had rubbed off the metal slime.
no, you just made that up. It's fine. No, I mean
Nice.
my hands don't even touch it because I mean I play it like this, so there's like
Yeah. So even rubbing on the triggers and stuff like that, it doesn't rub off anything in the corner. That's actually what I thought had happened in the
no,
upper corner on I'm pointing at the screen. Nobody can see where I'm pointing on
no.
the screen. I actually thought your left trigger would rub against that metal slime on the back on the top. So that's
No,
great. Like you've had
no.
this for years and years. And I really liked
Long
seeing
time, yeah.
11 on it because I think that the 3DS 11 is the prettiest version that of all the
Hmm.
ones. I like the chibi style of 3D in it better than
Hmm.
I like the normal beautiful
Oh.
3D that 11 has.
Hmm.
But if all of them, like I want an English version of
Yeah.
11 for the 3DS so that I can play because I like that better overall as a look. I
Yeah.
think it's gorgeous. And if you guys haven't seen
I
pictures of what that one looks like in particular, because it is a different style, the 2D looks very much the same, but the 3D is a very different model style because it's a 3DS. You should go look for it. Look up some screenshots or videos of it, and it's really, really cool looking.
or go to dragonquestaustin.com and read my blog from when I was playing it and posted
That is true.
screenshots.
That is also true. I forgot that you actually did that because I was thinking, like, as I said that, I was like, oh, we didn't do a like playthrough or anything on there. We
Mhm.
couldn't get video of it, but you did. You did post screenshots of it. So, uh, but yeah, they're really cool.
Yeah.
That one's neat. I'm also so jealous of that 2DS that if mine craps out, like I have a 3DS that is, I hacked it once the eShop died, and well, once they killed the eShop and got it where I could keep up with the games I wanted. But when it dies, I will probably buy that 2DS. Not that particular one because you're going to take that one to your grave, but the one like it because I want it so much. Like it's really, really cool looking, you guys. Like it feels sturdy. Like I can't, if you can get one, it's really neat.
While we're on the subject of 11, this is something I had out last week and just didn't get around to showing. This is my Dragon Quest 11 shirt it's a little wrinkled, that came out I think it was PAX West. You can kind of see the
Mm,
back of it here,
yeah.
in anticipation of this coming out. I actually missed this. I didn't have it, but somebody that read my blog and then listened to our podcast, Corey, offered to send me
Yeah.
one. He was like, "I've got it. It doesn't fit me. Take it." And so, which was really nice of him, way back in like 2018, 2019.
Yeah.
And so it's really
Uh,
cool. But because of the way it's like that kind of, screen tee,
mhm.
and I'm terrified that it's going to peel off. And I'm
Yeah.
also terrified that like I'm going to get like deodorant stains on the armpits or something. And so I initially wore it quite a bit, like all
Yeah.
the time. This was like my favorite shirt. And then after I owned it for a few months, I was like, something's going to happen to that shirt and
Mhm.
I'm going to feel really bad about it. I mean, get a stain on it. And at the time, my kids were really young too.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
was just like, and not even my kids. I mean, it's hard for me to eat anything that has like ketchup or barbecue sauce and not get it on myself. So, like, I can't just put it on them. So,
Yeah.
like, so anyway, this is just hangs up. I have a little
Hmm.
special section in my closet of like collector shirts,
Oh yeah.
and
Cool.
so that hangs up with my with the shirts that I don't want to like wear
Yeah.
often. It's like my special occasions. Like some people
Uh,
break out like a tux for a special occasion.
you
I
break
I,
out your
I would
DQ
break
shirt.
out my DQ11 shirt. Yeah, would be how that
Oh,
goes.
I didn't think about it. I yeah, that reminded me that I should gotten it out of the closet in the other room before we sat down. Capsule J from Geek to Geek sent me a Dragon Quest 8 shirt that he got from promo,
Uh-huh.
maybe Dragon Con years ago.
hmm
That I have that has pictures of the characters in like triptych, and oh man, I did. It's hanging up in there because I don't have it in the closet with the clothes I wear. I have it where I'm protecting it in the other room. So yeah, like that one's really cool. I remember you wearing that one. And Jennifer got me one off Etsy that's just a Dragon Quest shirt that I just have over there. But it's funny because she got it off of Etsy or Redbubble or one of the things, and it's all the slimes, and I love it. And right in the very center, there's a ditto, and it's hilarious to me that there is just whoever the artist is either did it on purpose or whatever, but it's got ditto right in the front center, and I'm like, huh.
You got me a backpack with that design on
Yeah,
it.
it's the same design.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and one of my kids have since claimed that as her own.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like one of the first things I noticed was that there was a ditto in there, and I was like, either the person was trying to be clever or they just
Mm-hmm.
straight up like maybe pulled a bunch of like art and pasted it in there and
Yeah.
didn't realize that that wasn't like a Dragon Quest one. I don't know the story behind it, but
Yeah. I've never
I have
found the
a
story
backpack
on it,
with that pattern on it too.
but it's really
Um,
cool.
so speaking of things people have given us, this one is not official, but I wanted to show it off. This is one of my favorite things. This is a Draki that it has
Love
been
it.
I don't know if it's knitted or crocheted.
Crocheted. It's
Okay.
crocheted. I knew you
From
were going to be showing these off today, so I didn't go get mine. I have sets of these as well. Uh,
so this is from Alinzia Carey, who actually co-hosted an episode of this podcast with me a few years back. Um, she is a wonderful person and a wonderful crafting rogue, I think is her.
yep.
She's very good at crafting, and so she sent this along. She sent me a metal slime, a blue slime, a slime stack.
Mm-hmm.
Not that one, but there's a
A
crocheted slime
crocheted
slime.
one. Yeah.
And then also when my kids were really little, um, she made specific ones for all of my girls based on what they kind of liked. And the twins were a little bit too young at the time. like they were like newborns basically.
Hmm.
And so she made them like a purple one and a pink one. And then Naomi, I asked Naomi, what color she wanted, and she said all, because she still says that a lot, but back then especially, you'd be like, "What's your favorite animal?" And she's like, "All."
All of
"What's your
them.
favorite color?"
Oh.
"All." She just loves everything. And so I told Carrie that, and I was like, make her whatever. And so Carrie made this really, really cool. It's like a rainbow
Hmm.
colored, like kind of psychedelic rainbow colored slime that if that were a real slime, like an official slime, I think people would freak out about it. Like it is so
Right.
cool. It's such a
It
cool
is.
design and everything. And so anyway, a lot of my I have a lot of cool like Dragon Quest like little stuffies thanks to Carrie for sending
Yeah.
all those over. So I wanted to show off at least the slimes are all cool. But for whatever reason the Draki is my favorite. And I
Draki is
think it's
really cool. Yeah.
it's just I don't know something about like the like craftswomanship of the
Yeah.
Draki is just really impressive, and it's like I have some slime plushes already, and so I don't know if it's just that like the Draki kind of stands out because this is the only Draki I have. Um,
Mm.
like I have a little Draki figure that came with, I think it was maybe Jade or Eric, the 11
Oh yeah, yeah,
figures that
yeah.
came out. But in terms of like plushies or any other things, like this is
Huh.
one of only two Draki merch items I have. And so it usually at different times it moves around because my kids like to play with them. But y'all might have noticed it before behind me on this bookcase over here. At different times it sat back there.
Yep.
Before it sits on my desk. Most recently it's been sitting on the bookcase in my room, um,
Yeah.
on top of all my like Switch games and stuff on that bookcase. But anyway, so I wanted to show that one, and then also, um, one of friends of the podcast and listener, Ugly Idiot is the username they go by, but went to. I knew you were gonna laugh.
Every
Um,
time.
but they went to Dragon Quest Island a while back, and they've been nice enough to send me various things in the past, and so they sent me a cool little Dragon Quest Island package, and that included there's a
Oh.
cool postcard here that's cool because they have those like onion
Yeah.
slimes at DQ Island, so there's like a cool little postcard here. And then they actually sent me some extra copies of a few things, including this. So I actually have one of these waiting for you when you come down here.
Oh.
Um, but it's the poster for the adventure that was going on at the time they visited, and it's completely in English. Um,
Wow.
so
That
so
is
it's
awesome.
so it's really cool. You can get to see it says a new adventure awaits you on Awaji Island, Dragon Quest Island, the Ancient Evil, and the Travelers Through Time. Apparently, is the name of the adventure. And
Oh
then
man.
and then down here, my wife says that I'm a little like cuckoo for this, but I've saved all these weird COVID things because I've told her I'm like this is something that like in like 50 years like these are going to be like weird historical artifacts. Like one of the
Uh-huh.
things I saved was like my county sent us all masks in the mail back
Yeah.
when masks were a new thing because they want everybody to have one, and it says the county on it. It has like the year and it has a mask, and
Mm.
I've kept those. And so this is kind of
Commemorative COVID mask.
yeah, so this kind of works too because there's a thing down here about countermeasures against the coronavirus disease. And there's all this stuff that I feel like
Huh.
they may not have on there anymore, but they did at least at that point. If you flip it over, it's got cool information. It shows you how the
Oh my
attraction flow
goodness.
down here. So it's like pick your adventure log and adventure's emblem. At the king's request, form a party of up to 4 people and set off on your adventure. Touch slime symbols with your adventure's emblem to open treasure chests and take part in battles. And there's like some screenshots that walks you through that. It also has ticket pricing over here. If you're interested in that, it shows you over here. There's different things like this one right here. If you buy this, it includes a Zenithian shield backpack,
Oh
which is
my
like,
gosh.
yes, please. Um, and there's also a Hildrick plush with a sleep bracelet. Hildrick is like the little
Wow.
mascot. And then there's also some
That is
stuff
so
about
awesome.
Luida's Bar. It's got menu items like fluffy slime chalk cream pancakes for 1,500 yen, Hildrick the Fourth's cheerful lunchbox for about 1,800 yen, sticker masking tape for 88 yen, and a storage box with
Huh.
lid for just under 2,000 yen.
Those are
Um,
really not bad prices for amusement park stuff at all.
yeah, and then there's also side quests, The Making of a Merry Man. Visitors who purchase the side quest ticket can enjoy a special storyline in addition to the main adventure to recover Honor Guard's royal armlet.
Why is America so terrible and we don't have things like this?
So
Like, that's so awesome. Thank you, ugly idiot.
yeah, so I have one of these for you too. Um, but I thought this was a good time to show it off to people who want to see
Yeah.
it or just listen to everything that's kind of on it. It's pretty cool. I know you and I have a dream to go there together one day, get to
Mm-hmm.
see it.
One
Um,
day.
this is copyrighted 2021 and then renewed 2023. It's
So
2025 now, so the adventure may be a little different. Um, there's cool there's maps and stuff,
that is
information down
really
here.
cool.
Um, yeah, uh, so I thought that was a kind of a cool thing to send along. How are we doing on time? We got a
We're
little
good.
time?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So something else I wanted to show last week and didn't get around to was this right here. Okay, this is
Oh
the
yeah.
Art of Astolcha, Dragon Quest X artworks book. It is my favorite Dragon Quest art book, hands down. It might be my favorite art book that I own. I'm a big art book guy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, BJ knows that about me. You may not. I have probably, I don't know, 30 to 50 art books,
Yeah, you
maybe
got
more.
dozens of them.
I have a lot of strategy guides that I just have purely because I treat them like art books. Um, but this one has a ton of cool art in it, and this is actually what helped me get into Dragon Quest X back when I first started
Mm.
playing Dragon Quest X. There's just there's so much fun stuff. It's like different promotional things, things from various like expansions um, over the years. And so whenever I was first pouring into like my DQ10 adventure, I don't have it bookmarked, so I'm trying to flip through it while I talk. But while I was going through my DQ10 adventure, the reason I played Dragon Quest X, okay, is because of this book and also our friend Ryan Molina,
Mhm.
who you guys have probably heard on the podcast if you're a regular listener, had started playing DQ10 and was sharing stuff about it. But there's these cat people, okay, specifically. All right. And I was flipping through it and I'm like, Who's this cat pirate guy there? Jokingly, like on my blog and some other places, I just called him Captain Cat Pants because I didn't know what he would be called. Like Google Translate, I mean, there's a name there, but you know, Google Translate is only going to do so well. But I was like, oh man, there's like this whole, but really what this book did is I realized like, oh, there's this whole like Dragon Quest world and all these like Dragon Quest things that I've
Mhm.
never got to experience. So I knew it was going to be a pain in the butt, but I figured out how to play DQ10 on the Switch, started playing it, got through the language barrier, just persevered, and I've played like the first three versions of the game now. And so um this is really what started it all. And since then, like I adore Dragon Quest X. I'm forever going to be devastated that it didn't come west.
Mhm.
Just everything about this game is just is so much fun. It got me like I went on like whenever I was playing, I got super obsessed with it for a while. I would just go around and buying lots of things. So I have I have claws, I think is roughly what it translates into. But from I think that he shows up first in version 2 of
Okay.
the game. Um, right? 2?
I don't know. I never
Where's it
got
3?
beyond one. I didn't actually get to play it
I,
nearly as much as you did.
I think it's 2. It's been about a year and a half since the last time I played Dragon Quest X. But anyway, I think this is in version 2, which I would have played in like 2021 probably. But anyway,
Right.
I've got him. I've got the main bad guy, Nargle, however you want to say it, from the first version of the game, 1.0. Got him here. I also have. I couldn't get this out because it's so big. It's under a pile of stack of different merch, but I have the. I used to have it out, but I had to like condense stuff
Mhm.
whenever I switched offices here. But it's the hero, the male hero, like just standard hero, and it comes with what is translated if you played 11S and went to that world uh, as the Galapagod, the big turtle. creature
Yeah.
that's in the opening there. I have them, and they're really nice size figures.
Right.
The Galapagos is probably about as big as like the big golem I have,
Oh
and then
yeah.
the actual main hero figure is the same size as like the kind of vinyl soft figures that I have of the other heroes. So probably
Mm-hmm.
about six inches, 6 to 8 inches, I
Yeah.
guess. Um, and so I have that, and it was way too much trouble to drag out this time, but I'll try to show it off at some point. That one was cool because I really wanted it. I knew it existed. I was like, oh man, I gotta have it. They, to my knowledge, don't make action figures of Captain Cat Pants, or I'd be all on that.
Which is
Um,
a sorely missed opportunity because
it is, yeah,
I would totally buy something called Captain Cat Pants.
yeah. And so I was actively trying to find it, and some various like DQ friends I'd made on Twitter um, helped me hunt it down on a Japanese auction site, and they were willing to
Wow.
ship it to the U.S. And so I was able to get it, and I I know I've shared a lot of stuff, and but this kind of also brings up a point that so one of my chase items, this is loosely connected to that. One of my chase items that I don't have that I really, really want is they made these little dioramas for DQ7. Okay.
Oh.
And I really, really, really want that. It's hard to find like on Japanese auction sites, on eBay, wherever. I think people who bought them back then tended to keep them,
Right.
but it's kind of a similar kind of merch where it's like it's figures of the main three in seven, and they have one that's like kind of like the ruins there at the
Yeah.
beginning is one diorama, and then I think they also have a ship. In my mind, there's a ship, and so those are kind of like chase items for me that I've never been able
Yeah.
to get, um, but that I've really um, wanted.
Yeah,
So
those
while I'm in
those
the
would be
midst
really
of
cool.
sharing all
Yeah.
this, yeah, I just wanted to say that there's some stuff I don't have that I really want still.
And that you'll be able to find eventually and get, but right now they haven't shown up in pawn shops in Southern Florida yet for you to be able to grab, like DQ Kenshin or
Yeah.
Kenshin DQ. But yeah, that is awesome. I would love to see those. I haven't seen the dioramas. I actually haven't seen the Galapagos either, so may have to make you dig that out just to see or point at it. I may have to get you to show me the pile
It's
and point at it next week.
Oh yeah, it's easy to get to. It's actually if you move that curtain, I have boxes of things organized. So if you pull it back, it actually looks pretty neat.
Right.
Um, but I mean, I don't think the camera would show it up if I bothered to do that right
Right.
now. But whenever you're over, yeah, because my for those of you who don't know, my office is also the guest bedroom in my house. So I mean, you guys will be staying up here anyway. So you can just pull back the curtain and peek at it whenever
That's
you
true.
want.
I will.
You can
Um,
get your fill of Galapagos.
yep. That's on that note. The only other thing I wanted to show off was one that I keep up above me when I'm at my computer, and it's this tiny little slime knight. And I honestly can't remember where I got it. I think Jennifer got this for me.
She did
Uh,
because she texted me to ask if you had it yet, and I
and
told her no, but that
I
you would
don't
love it.
know I don't know what it is about this little guy, but I just love him. And I glued him to a miniature base so that he would actually stay standing up because he fell over some. But I just love it. I look at this thing all the time. I love tiny things. I love miniatures. And so I have yet to bring this guy into a tabletop game as an enemy or anything. But one day I will, and he's going to be so absurdly powerful. He wipes the party because I truly love this slime knight. Just little miniature statuette, just like a mini. I just truly love this like 2 inch tall mini she got me, and I keep it on the windowsill just up above my desk, and it's one of them that I'm always just glancing up at because I like.
Mhm.
Um, but that is about all we have time for today to get through. And we do
Yeah.
have a lot more stuff here and there. that we'll have to do this again.
We'll do it again sometime.
Of
Yeah.
all the different things, and where I'll get the shirt out that I ended up remembering about here that I had put up when you were talking about your DQ shirt, special edition DQ shirt, and your protected closet part, where I'm like, oh yeah, I got one in there. That's where mine is in the room in there, and so we'll get those out and do that. But we really appreciate you guys watching and listening and honestly sending us cool stuff to be able to show everybody else.
Oh yeah, for
We
sure.
have such a magnificent community around here, not just because of that, but just you guys are so engaged and active and just care so much that it's just truly been wonderful these last what 6 years, 7 seasons now
Hmm.
of being able to do this. So we couldn't do this without you. We wouldn't do this without you. I mean, we'd just be talking to each other. So,
Which we
but we,
do,
which
but
we do. So then we decided that we should probably just, record it.
record it. Mhm.
But if you guys want more stuff like this and you want more to tell us what to talk about, you can always go to patreon.com/DragonQuestFM and support the podcast that way. And or you could tell your friends and share this and let them know how great everything is around here. Um,
Also, if you like, I love seeing people's collection. So if you've listened to this,
yes.
share it with us. I don't think you could probably do that on YouTube, but we're on Twitter, we're on Blue Sky, DragonQuest.fm over on Blue Sky. So comments,
Yep.
however you get it to us. I love seeing people's collections. Um, so share them.
Yep. And like he said, we're on Blue Sky at DragonQuest.fm, and I'm on Blue Sky at BJKGames.com. So thank you guys for listening, for watching, and just being fantastic. And we will talk at you soon.
Bye, everybody.